Welcome to She Plants a Vineyard podcast. I'm your host, Hannah Withrow, and this podcast is sponsored by the Affinity Films. And today I have an amazing guest with me. I'm so happy she's here with me. Skye, welcome to the pod.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. She is an esthetician, and you're a mother to little Augie.
Yeah.
And I've known you for like over 10 years now, I think. So
yeah, probably longer than that.
it's like really fun to be able to do this because we spent almost every single day together for at least a year.
Yeah.
So it's just like cool for everyone to kind of hear that part of my life because it's not really a part that I speak on too much. So
Right. Yeah. Different chapter.
I'm excited. I know.
Yeah.
All right. So I kind of want to start with, what do you do?
I'm an esthetician, so basically lashes, spray tan, waxing, all of that. Anything beauty encompassing, really. I work at a salon called Esthetician, and I help manage it. And I just love to make people look beautiful. So that's kind of, what I get to do. I get to talk to like my clients that have become friends and just like make them pretty all day. So it's awesome.
That is amazing. How did you get there? Like, what was your journey into kind of becoming an esthetician?
So I actually started out with hair, and then I tell the story all the time to kind of explain it is I fell out of love with it because I feel like in hair you have a lot less control than what I'm doing now, because it's one of those things where people, when they go to get their hair done, a lot of people try to do their hair at home, which is totally fine. I get it. It's like everybody has a different budget, or they just want to experiment, at home by themselves. But it comes with the territory of like a lot of unrealistic expectations when they come into the salon and they're like, I have been dyeing my hair with black box dye for 10 years, but can you take me platinum blonde, please? And I'm like, not in this one session. And then they're bummed out about it and it sucks, Yeah. So I think that was one thing that kind of drew the love out of it for me, because obviously in this business you want to make everybody happy. And sometimes it really just is out of your control in that moment, especially in one session, to be able to do that.
Right.
So with what I do now, it's more of when you get your lashes done, it's always going to be an enhancement to what you have, right? Spray tan, like you're always going to be darker than when you came in, kind of thing. Waxing, the hair is going to be gone. So it's always nice because it's a very quick, like there isn't all the steps to get to the result they want. They're going to get it when they leave that door. So I love those services. So when I got into it, I started getting my own lashes done. And then I was like, wait, I can do this. And it kind of got me back into like, I can specialize in one or a couple things. So that was cool.
Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah, I feel like I want to tell a fun story the first time I got my hair dyed, because you dyed it, and because you were like, you never dyed your hair.
I know.
Virgin hair, you were like.
I was really excited. I was
like
ooh.
So
I was like, a fresh palette. Yes.
And it took very well.
Yes.
Like, I was probably the one person you could have taken to platinum blonde if I asked.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
My hair was just like.
Yep. I think I did like a 3 different color thing. I went really fun about it. I did like I think we took you, it was like copper and then red, and then you had like purple tips. It was like the craziest, and you were just like, yeah, let's do whatever. I loved it. I was like, heck yeah. Like, that's what we want.
Me, I have not dyed my hair since then.
I know. I feel like I've been following you, but I love this color because it suits you, so it works.
Yeah, no highlights, no colors. It was like, go crazy one time, and that was it for me.
And then you're like, she messed me up, so never dyeing my hair again. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Not my. It just requires, like you said, like a lot of work to maintain, and I am not someone that's a maintenance.
Right, and your natural hair color is beautiful, so it really is like,
it
people
works.
Kill for it. So.
But you have tried a lot of different things. I feel like you were doing fitness and bodybuilding, and you've done a lot of stuff with beauty. Has really been your main thing. What was like kind of the turning point for you? Which you kind of did explain that, like you were just kind of falling out of love with doing the hair because of the clients. What was the turning point to where you like ended that and then you started your career as an esthetician and doing the lashes? And how did that kind of like begin?
Yeah, I think I was so after I decided to quit hair, I did a lot of odd jobs here and there, just trying to kind of figure out like what is my next step. Like I didn't know 100% like what I was going to do next. So I kind of just dabbled with different things, but then I think what really drew me in was I met one of my friends, and I met her through just trying to get a receptionist job at a lash salon, because I was getting my lashes done, and that was the salon I was going to at the time. And I was like, okay, well, maybe getting back my foot in the door of the industry of beauty, but like being more on the receptionist end, I can learn stuff, but you know, kind of being more on that end, because I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. Right. And when I went in there and I started training to become like the receptionist, this is where I met the friend. And she actually ended up telling me that she was going and taking a lash course to learn lashes. And I said, oh, I have my cosmetology license. Like, do I need to go back to school for an additional thing? And she was like, no, you're already legal to do the lashes. You just probably need to take like a couple-day training to learn it. And you're good to go. And I took that little nugget of information, ran with it, because I'm all about like learning things. Yes. And, you know, if you can expand your portfolio with different services and different things, and all I need to do is take like a 2-day class to learn it and then practice, like I'll learn whatever, because you never know what's your next golden ticket. Right. So after she told me that, I probably lasted all of like 4 days being a receptionist there, and I was like, no, I think I'm going to learn to do this now that I know I can. So I ended up doing that, and I took my lash course, started practicing with people at home. All of my friends, so sorry if you were my first clients. And just kind of like, you know, I started grinding at it and trying to practice being as good as I could. And eventually, like, I got my foot in the door in a salon, and that's the salon that I'm at now. It was the best decision I ever made. I love it.
Yeah. You are someone that definitely likes to learn a lot and like to learn a lot of different things. And you're kind of a free spirit in that. Like, you kind of can jump from one thing to another and just kind of go with your gut. And you're also like really determined in that. So like when you set your mind out to try, you're not like, oh, I'm going to do this thing and jump to this thing and jump to, like, you finish that thing. And then if you decide you like it or you don't like it after you've tried it for a while, where do you think that determination like comes from in your ambition to just continue to learn?
That's a good question. I feel like maybe I created a belief system really early on in life, knowing that you're always going to change and evolve as a person. So why go against it? You know, it's like, just continue to learn. Don't have an expectation of where it's going to go. It might be something that, you know, you keep in your back pocket for 20 years, but then one day you end up utilizing it and one day you don't. But it's a really cool thing to be able to talk about with people. Or it could be something that changes your life. You don't know. And I think it's just like having that expectation, or not having the expectation, I should say, and just doing things because it's fun, and like playing around and learning things so you can have a fun experience with it. I think that's what I tried to do. And then it takes also the pressure off of, is this going to turn into something? Right. So, yeah. I
feel like you do that with other people too. Like, you're very encouraging, and you're someone that in my own life, you know, you've been such a big supporter, and I obviously lived with you for a little bit. And I feel that I was really in my shell, and when I came to you guys, I was probably depressed, but didn't really know I was depressed. Like, I didn't verbalize that, but I would stay in my room, and I was someone that would just stay to myself and not really talk to anyone. And you really pulled that out of me. You like pulled some confidence out of me. You pulled just wanting to learn out of me, and you even inspired me in my own health journey. That was something, I mean, I was always in sports and stuff, so I was active, but going to the gym wasn't something that I really thought about. Yeah. And you really pushed me to just always be a better person, always be learning, and gave me a different perspective in life. And you just had this like undying belief in me, like and throughout, since I left North Carolina, when we lived there, anytime I was doing something cool or interesting you were, and I would tell you about it, you were like, that's amazing, you're incredible. And I feel like you're one of two people that I could literally say, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go work at McDonald's, and you'd be like, that's amazing.
Yeah. Hey, whatever makes you.
Working at McDonald's.
No.
But it's just the point, like you,
Yeah.
you obviously were just someone that had such an impact in my life, and at the time, I needed that more than you will ever know. Like, that's probably saved me in a lot of different ways. So the question, though, getting to the question is, what do you think allows you to just be so supportive and have like an undying belief in people?
I think the main thing is live to be happy. So whatever it is that you do, if your end goal is to be happy, you're doing the right thing. So who am I to judge what makes you happy? You know what I'm saying? So if that is, like you said, working at McDonald's, or, you know, starting your own film company, or going and traveling the world, doing photography, whatever, you know, it could be literally anything. Do what makes you happy, because nothing else, like monetary things, like that is the highest currency.
Yes.
Like that's truly what I believe. So
what advice do you have for like young women just starting out in life or their career? What advice do you have for them to be happy?
Don't let fear get in the way. So whatever it is, and plugging my poetry book. This is a short little micro poem I put in there, but fear is the weeds in the garden of ideas. So whatever you decide that you want to do in life, do not let fear be the thing to stop you, because it's your life. Define it how you want to, because your worth is your happiness, and nobody can define that for you.
That's going to be like the title of this podcast. Whatever you just said, your fear is the garden of ideas or something.
Your fear is the weeds in the garden of ideas.
Your fear is the weeds in the garden of ideas.
Yeah.
I love that. That should be like just a quote everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make that a quote. What's the biggest mistake that you've made as someone that's always continuing to learn, and all the things that you've tried and done over the years? Like, what's the biggest mistake that you've made in your own career?
I'd say fear. That's one thing. Holding your own self back. Preconceived judgments of what other people are going to think. I think also caring what people think to an extent, you know? It's like, because you don't know what other people's intentions of your own business are. Like, you know your intentions behind what you want to do. So it's like I feel like in our heart, if we really listen to that part, that's what's going to propel us to do whatever it is that's going to make us the happiest. That's going to define who we want to be, you know? So I think that in itself is just do it, Nike, you know? Just do it.
Has there been a time in your life where you let fear stop you? That you can remember?
For sure. I think one thing is, and to mention it again, is I've always loved the creative side of life. But for a big part of my life, you know, I did hair for a little bit, then stopped that, then got into lashes, finally found the thing that I want. But I think on another aspect of it is, like with poetry or music or things like that, there's a big part of me that I find such a romanticizement, if that's a word, in words, in the way that they define life, and how people can literally make art just from like describing things. And I've always wrote poetry, and I've have books and notes apps on my phone of poems, and they've kind of just sat there and died, you know? And now I'm finally, after years, like, I'm compiling a poetry book that I'm gonna try to publish. It's done. It's just I'm trying to get it out there. But I feel like that's something I could have done years ago. But I held myself back, because I was like, if once I do this, it's out there, it's the most vulnerable part of myself. It's my emotions, it's my traumas that I write on paper. Even though I know that the beauty of it is people can relate to it and they'll be able to find, you know, whatever they need from it once it's out there, there's a part of me that held myself back because it's that judgment, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Yeah, I totally feel that. I mean, whenever I first started my business, judgment was like such a scary thing for me. Like I never stopped myself, but I was very like bitter towards people that judged me.
Yeah.
So like I would continue to do it, but I'd be like, oh, F those people.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know. And I think it does require empathy to actually let go of fear.
Yeah.
Because you have to empathize for the people that are judging you, because it's not necessarily their fault that they don't get it. It could be a matter of how they grew up.
Yep.
It could be a matter of their circumstances in life or any traumas that they've been through.
Absolutely.
And so it does require a lot of empathy to like, and kindness and like confidence too.
Yep.
To
projection.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot
your
of the time.
projection onto other people is creating that fear.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
in reality, they're probably not judging you. You're probably judging yourself.
Yeah.
And I definitely allowed fear to kind of control, not what I did, but my mindset. And I would be like so, like I said, bitter towards those people. And over the years, I've just had, first of all, I've gained a lot of confidence because I've gotten better at what I've done.
Yeah.
I feel really like confident about the work that I do. So that also releases fear.
Yep, absolutely.
Because once you realize, like, oh, I'm actually, like, good at this, and I can continue to improve, and I've created relationships, and I've done it for a while, like, that fear kind of does go away. And as that went away, my empathy towards others actually grew as well, because I'm like, they just have been in the same, like, spot in their life, and that's not something that's necessarily their fault.
Yeah, and they might not see your vision.
Yeah,
and that's okay because it's not their vision.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, there's just like a level of like they're just different than you, and that's okay.
Exactly.
So I love that you kind of brought that up, because I think that I can 100% relate to that fear aspect
absolutely.
for sure. So you're a mother now.
I am.
A new mother. Well, not really new, but he's like a couple of years new. How has your life changed, and how has your perspective changed in life and your career? How has that affected you as a person?
I would say balance is key. Doing what makes you happy. Reiterating on that point, it really does show to light what's important in life. And it's funny, I feel like becoming a mom has also made me more confident of a person, because you realize that all the other small things you used to worry about when it was just you have kind of gone away, because now you have something so much bigger. Like, I have my son that I have to worry about at all times, which is great in a sense, because I know that that's the most important thing in my life. So everything else is secondary, you know? So I think that. I also think the part of just being able to experience every new thing that he dives into, you know, seeing all of his first, no matter what it is, his first time trying ice cream, his first time going to the park, his first steps, you know, whatever it is, the excitement on his face, his interests that he is starting to showcase, you know, it's like he loves trucks. So it's like he'll line up all his little trucks and just like compile them. And it's like the cutest thing, because I'm like, okay, that's something that you love, you know? So I think that part of it, it's like you get to re-experience life again, you know, because like we've done it through someone else, you know.
That's so cool. And you get to see them kind of like grow, and you get to impact that person in such a big way.
And I think it's just a beautiful thing.
That is. How do you balance your life, your work, and your family? How is that like kind of changed, and what are some things that you do as self-care, as, you know, putting yourself first sometimes, and kind of giving yourself some time to yourself? What are some practices that you do to be able to do that?
I think being vocal and transparent to my partner has been really helpful in that, because sometimes we want to believe that we can do it all, and sometimes we can't do it all.
Especially
and
like people like me.
that like all of our life has just kind of been like, I'm going to work as hard as I can, because I've kind of had to. And you know, it kind of defines you in a way, you know, and sometimes once life forces you to take a pause and redirect, you're like, whoa, I don't know how this is. I'm still going to try to do it all and be perfect at it. But then you're like, that's not realistic. And let's just try to like be balanced enough. And that's okay sometimes. Like there's different chapters of your life where you kind of have to kind of figure out that pacing. So I think one thing that's helped me is just ask for help. You know, it's like sometimes I'll have to be like, hey, Leighton, I've had a really rough day today. I've just kind of a little overstimulated. I shouldn't say rough, but just like overstimulated. Do you care if I take 10 minutes to myself in the room just so I can either watch my TikToks, read my book, whatever it is, you know? Right, whatever it is, you know, it's like just so I can have that time for myself. Of course, I can say the whole self-care is important. Go get your hair done. Go do all of that. But sometimes it's as simple as go take a walk. You know,
Right.
I think that in itself, you know, to kind of be alone with your thoughts and being able to kind of just level yourself back out again. I think that's important.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't have a child, so I don't know how I can relate to that. But I do think that just sometimes a work day can be overstimulating.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you need 10 minutes, and sometimes your partner's talking to you, and you're like, okay,
And you're like, I love
shut
you. Not trying to interrupt what you're saying, but
I need 5 minutes.
let me just take 5 minutes and then unload everything you want. You know? Yeah.
And sometimes you just need that.
Yep.
So, ending this a little bit, I have 2 questions, but the first one to end this is, what is your morning routine?
Chaos. Controlled chaos. Definitely not a meditate, gratefulness journal, namaste. I try to incorporate that a little bit in the day in my mind, but definitely realistically, it's getting up when my little one wants to get up, going out to the living room, maybe trying to get a little bit more shut-eye, because depending on what time he wakes up, a lot of times it's the crack of dawn, you know? So, you know, I'll put on a show for him. I'll make my coffee, just relax there for a minute. If he's preoccupied, of course, make him breakfast, that whole thing. And then, depending on the day, maybe I'll put some makeup on, maybe I won't. It depends on, you know, how he is. Yes. But I try to at least most mornings, like, put myself together somewhat. If it's at least a good outfit or, you know,
just something to make yourself feel good.
Bare minimum amount of makeup, you know, we do what we can, you know, and just be grateful of, I guess, this chapter because it's so fleeting. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. So.
Is there anything else that you would like to share with the people? Any advice, any thoughts?
Damn, that was an on-the-spot question.
I'm going to give a lot of wisdom. I'm trying to get it all out in one episode. You shared a lot of wisdom with me, and just watching you, one of the things I've noticed is like you have a lot of confidence, and I feel like that I was able to have confidence that I had never had before, and so I, you know, for me to give advice, I guess from your perspective, is that you can do anything, and I really feel like that you really, like, it's such a, I don't know, basic saying, I guess. You hear everyone say it, and it kind of like doesn't really mean anything sometimes when someone's like, you can do anything. But I think you never necessarily said that to me, but you showed that to me with your own life. Yeah. That you are capable of hard things. And you can overcome hard things. And you can be somebody even if your life wasn't exactly, you know, what you wanted it to be. And I was very bitter when I came to you guys, I think. I was very lonely.
You were, but...
No. I was lonely, I was bitter, I was, like, mad at the world. I was just angry at the world. And just being around you, you're just like a light. You are beautiful inside and out, but your inside is just so beautiful, and you're so kind and caring. And I just have so much respect and love for you because you've really... respect and love for you. You've really, like, instilled that in me. And you were almost like a mother figure in a way. More like a sister, I think. But in a lot of ways, just, you allowed me to flourish. And there were times when I could tell you were like disappointed in me, and it, like, you didn't have to say anything. I could just tell, like, oh, Skye's mad.
I wouldn't
Skye's
say
mad at me.
Let me correct you there. I wouldn't say it was disappointed in you. I would say I knew you had so much potential because I know who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And I knew you were in a hard space, so I was trying to give you grace in that, because I know that everybody has different coping mechanisms, and I understand that sometimes we have to go in the ebb and flow of things, you know.
I wasn't gonna get emotional with it.
But truly, like, I know you as a person. I've known you for a long time, and I think you are such a unique person. Like, you're just such a unique human. You're such a beautiful, straightforward, smart, hardworking individual. And I think you just didn't see that part of yourself. And I think that's what I was trying to really get you to realize was, I know right now you're in this place, but you don't even know, like, 10% of the potential that you hold, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you really, and so a big part of it was just, I was never disappointed in you. I just knew, I was like, damn, this girl, I know she's going to do great things.
Yeah.
I just need her to see it. I need her to see it, and I don't know what it's going to take for me to get it out of her, but I'm going to do everything that I can to try. So.
And you did. And I think just being who you were, because you were influenced by just doing that.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, because a lot of people tell you need to do this and this, but they don't live that lifestyle. You lived the lifestyle that you were trying to show me.
Thank you.
And so all I had to do was watch you.
Well, it's an honor for you to be saying that to me, especially now, because now I'm just so proud of everything that you're doing. And I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, like, you should be so damn proud of yourself. So I really, really appreciate you saying that, because it means a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so to end it, we're going to. Is there anything you want to plug? I know you mentioned your poetry book.
Yeah.
Let me wipe my tears before you start talking again.
Yeah. Really, the only thing is, that is something that's like my passion project. So that's something that I'm going to be trying to put out here pretty soon. Like I said, it's already done. I just need to, like, figure out the publication process of it. So that's what I'm doing now. So the title will be When Life Gives You Lemons.
Ooh, I love it.
Just kind of like
I feel like that's so, it, like, makes sense. Like, definitely taking some lemons and making some sweet
damn lemonade.
Some damn good lemonade,
that's what life's about.
100%.
So that, and I'm trying to think anything
your
else.
eye mask, right?
Oh, yeah, my, so I do have a product. It's their Silkberry Sleep Masks. Basically, it's a meditation and eyelash extension tool that you can utilize for meditation purposes. They come with little crystals, and they have a chakra pocket in it, like right there in the center, that when you wear it, you can put your different crystals in.
Okay,
so you can
really
do your meditations, but it's also a beauty tool. So you can wear it to protect, like, if you have lash extensions or a lash lift, or just if you just want to protect anything, your eye serums that you're wearing or whatever, or just to sleep in general, you can use it for that. So that's at silkberry.com. So, yeah.
It's amazing. Thank you so much for coming. And I'm so glad. Also, we're in Florida. I flew down here so we can do this little podcast. But thank you so much for coming. And I'm excited to have this podcast. Okay,
Thank you for having me.